one of the things that you had in the show so far is this essence of momentum. You got some momentum going, then you had to pull back. How were you able to rebuild the momentum?
Yeah, like we talk about cash flow in business and sales and startups, but very seldom does anybody talk about what happens when you lose the momentum or how do you even get it.
Yeah.
So when I got to town, when I got to Pueblo, there's a lot of stuff you don't see in the show. First of all, this show is not produced at all.
Yeah.
At least with me, I'm an unproducible character. So like you can't, I'm not an actor, right? I don't know how, I can't act. Like if you give me lines, I'm not going to be able to do them. I'm going to say it my way. It's impossible for me. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
So when we got to town, we got there about 2:00 in the afternoon. The first day I was in Pueblo. I did not know where I was going.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were landing in Colorado, I said, okay, where is this? Okay. And they said, Pueblo. I said, Pueblo's in New Mexico. They're like, no, this is Pueblo, Colorado, south of Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
And I had never been there. So I got on my phone, the new phone they gave me.
Mm-hmm.
They took my other one away. And I get on this new phone and I start searching, okay, demographics in Pueblo.
Mm-hmm.
They said to me, hey, what's the first three things you're going to do when you get to town? I said, first thing, you gave me $100. I'm going to take the $100 and bring it to the bank. That's exactly what I did. First thing, went straight to the bank and dropped off the 100.
Yeah.
Second thing I did was went to a gym to work out.
Yeah.
And the reason was I was broke now, officially zero.
Mm-hmm.
Rather than spending my way to zero, I just went and got rid of the money.
Yeah.
So that I didn't have money to manage. I didn't want to be a money manager. I didn't want to manage $100. I didn't want to try to spend, I'm like, just go to zero as fast as you can, dude.
Yeah.
Now, the reason I did that on this momentum topic is because when you go to zero on your own determination, not because you just leak out.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I could go get my momentum. I was no longer like, oh, I'm trying to manage $100. I didn't have any money.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to start working angles and I had to start hustling. Being broke is actually an asset, not a detriment.
Oh, for sure.
And so when you don't have money, what do you have? Hey, I got to go talk to people that have money. And that's why my battle cry was, who's got my money? Who's got my money in the show?
Yeah.
So I went to a gym and they're like, why are you going to a gym? You're broke. You're trying to build $1 million business and you're going to make time for a workout. Like, are you that dedicated to your health? And I said, no, it's got nothing to do with my health. People are easy to meet in gyms.
Yeah, it's true.
You and I go to a gym, man, I can pick up a barbell for you. I can say, hey, can I get this for you? Could you give me a spot? It's easy to talk to people. So people need to understand the way to get momentum is through people.
Yeah.
It's not in your head. Momentum's not a mindset. It's actually something that happens in the physical universe. So I started meeting people. I started adding contacts to my phone. I need contacts, right? The third thing I did was I went and looked at a business for sale. So I pulled up businesses for sale in Pueblo. They don't show this in the show.
Yeah.
Because look, you can only produce a show as much as you can think about one, right? Like they're thinking about, let's make Grant look like he's suffering rather than look at the angles.
Yeah.
And they're not entrepreneurs. They're camera guys and audio people and producers. So the third thing I did was look for, that's how I ended up at the RV park. I ended up at the RV park because it was a for sale business.
Yeah.
And, RV park, I'm going to go to the RV park. I was actually going to that park to buy a business on the first day I was there. Dang. So it just so happened when I got there, I'm like, hey, there's 200 beds here. They're all empty.
Yeah.
This is a warm place to sleep tonight. And I ended up in that conversation with Ryan Zabukovic about like, dude, I don't even have a place to sleep tonight.
Yeah.
I just got to town. This is where you got to start working your story out.
Yeah.
And the hardest part of the entrepreneur game really is one, working your story out and then getting momentum with that story.
Yeah.
So the most difficult thing for me in this whole thing was like, I spent 35 years working my story out.
Yeah.
About Grant Cardone.
Yeah. And not Lewis.
And then dude, Grant Cardone, I can't use Grant Cardone anymore.
Yeah.
So like it was that was very, very difficult that I could not be who I am and who I've spent a career and getting a bunch of momentum about who I was. So the 10 days was all about, hey, I need some traction. I need a little momentum. I need a victory, a little tiny victory. And I didn't get any until the 10th day.
Mm-hmm.
And on the same damn day that I finally got a victory, wham, hey, we're stopping. I said, stopping?
Yeah.
And dude, like they don't show it. They show a little bit of it on me getting upset with the guy.
Yeah.
That turned into a huge fight.
Well, yeah, because they were, in some ways, they were actually bringing your family out away from you. I mean, you'd been out there, you were doing it. They're stopping production. Now, what do? You have to fly back,
Like I'm like, guys, you don't stop production. We shoot this through COVID.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we can't do that. I'm like, wow, I thought you guys wanted to shoot a real TV show. I thought you wanted to shoot a TV show about the bullshit that people go through every day. And the people, America can't stop right now just because of the virus.
Yeah.
And at that time, look, it wasn't a big deal yet. Nobody had really died. Not massive numbers of people hadn't died. 40 million people weren't let go yet. And I'm like, guys, time out. Shoot the show the way it is right now as it is. Let me continue going through this. And they're like, no, we can't do that. Liability, insurance. I'm like, you guys are full of shit. I thought you guys wanted to do a real show about real entrepreneurs in America. And this is what happens.
Yeah.
And so it became this huge thing that you don't see on camera. But even the execs at Discovery called me. I said, I'm staying, I'm shooting, I'm continuing. Right. Yeah. Like I was freaking insane. And the executives at Discovery call me and say, hey, we're done.
Mm-hmm.
We are over, bro. We may never come back. I said, oh, you guys, I ain't coming back. Mm-hmm. So like, I was so upset, man. And because I'd finally gotten a little traction. So when I finally realized I wasn't, that they weren't going to be there,
mm-hmm.
I didn't cash the check. This guy just gave me a check for 10 grand. I didn't cash it. Now I'm like, he's going to cancel it.
Yeah.
So,
not to mention the relationship piece.
Exactly. The relationship's an issue. I can't talk to him anymore. I can't tell him what's going on.
Yeah.
So I can't tell him, hey, by the way, Discovery Channel's cutting the show, because he doesn't know there is a Discovery Channel.
Yeah.
So I'm in this trick bag. And, when I left, I did not know that I was coming back. That's why there's 2 women in the show now. By the way.
Yeah.
The reason there's 2 women in the show, if you watch the 2 women that are cut in, Monique and Elaine,
mm-hmm.
their shows pick up way after COVID.
Wow.
Their mask in the first episode of their shows. There was no mask in my show until like the 3rd or 4th show.
Yeah. So
the reason they added the 2 women is because they truly did not know if I would come back or not. That's why those were backup shows.
Jeez. Well, look, I want to pivot on this, right? So obviously, Undercover Billionaire, you basically you go from obviously being highly successful down to full-fledged broke. I'm sure that taught you a great deal. I know that my own story coming back from homelessness and all that kind of stuff is crazy, and there's a fight there. If people are watching right now, the people that are watching right now, right? What can you tell them right now to kickstart their way out of being quote unquote broke? Especially after going through Undercover Billionaire and having to do all that.
Look, what I would tell you is, and the number one question I'm asked today, the most, but like nothing is even close. Number 2 is not even close. What would you do if you lost everything?
Mm.
I have a Gulfstream 550. I have all this great shit in my life, right? I got this beautiful condo in Miami. My wife and kids travel with me everywhere. We got a lot of support. I got 500 employees. Like, there's nothing I really worry about anymore, right? When you lose your name and your money and you're in a new location and you don't know anybody, all of a sudden everything got real to me. I was out of touch, just to be completely honest. I had fallen out of touch with what people are going through every day. Mm-hmm. That being said, this was one of the worst and best experiences of my lifetime, because even though I only had $100, okay, I realized I don't have my jet, don't have my cars, don't have my name, don't have my credit cards, can't call my banker and say, hey, send me 10 million. Like I have none of that, right? I can't call my buddies.
Yeah.
Dude, what you meet when you don't have anything, if you haven't given up, okay, what you meet is your courage. Mm. And you meet your creativity, and you meet your whatever level of commitment you have to your future. Then you get to meet yourself. And what I learned in this show was like, you cannot break me. I can be broke,
Yeah.
but I won't be broken.
Oh, I love it.
And money, cars and jets and all that stuff, the watches, all the nice stuff. I had 2 t-shirts and 2 pairs of jeans.
Mhm.
Like, dude, I had a piece of shit truck. It didn't even matter to me. I liked that truck. That truck I had and complained about every day on that show. I like that as much as the cars I have today. It didn't matter. And there was something very, very like spiritual about, oh my God, I don't need stuff.
Yeah.
You know, and you can't take my stuff away from me and it matter.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't define who I am. So that was the cool part of that. So my recommendation to people would be like, you need to understand that money, you don't need money. And that's why I did this show, to prove to people, you do not need money. You do not need fame. You don't need stuff,
Yep.
but you do need a commitment and you do need a strategy. And you're going to have some courage.
Hey there, if you really enjoyed that snippet, you're really going to love the full interview right here. So make sure you check it out.
Money, you don't need money. And that's why I did this show, to prove to people, you do not need money. You do not need fame. You don't need stuff,
Yep.
but you do need a commitment and you do need a strategy. And you're going to have some courage.